This pawn is going to do something that you've never seen a pawn do before. What started out as a normal 3-minute game quickly turned into one of the most brilliant games I have ever played in my life. Let's take a look. So e4, my opponent immediately plays something weird, knight to c6. I kind of just ignore it and play bishop c4, and a couple of moves later, we transpose back into what's called the Italian game. After knight to f6, d4, we get what's called the Scotch gambit, where I give up a pawn so that I can quickly decastle, get my pieces out, and try to attack. I play c3, and I want to just take back the pawn if black lets me. So he captures here on e4. I take back, and now d5. This is a typical idea in these e4, e5 openings where you jump your knight in and then you support it with the d pawn so that if you do run into any problems, your knight is well defended. I noticed, of course, that I could take the bishop and we would just be trading bishops. So I went ahead and then I played queen e2. I didn't really want to trade queens. I wanted to try to take advantage of the pin here on the knight. My opponent plays f5 to support it, and I simply developed a piece and attacked it. He castled wisely to get away from the center, and I went ahead and captured here with check, and then took back my extra pawn. I missed a nice idea here, knight to g5, going for the fork. Of course, black would have options to stop that, but it probably would have been a better move. Regardless, I played this, bishop f5, swung the queen over. I was saying, go ahead, trade queens. I'm up a pawn. I have 3 against 2 over here, so I'm happy going into the endgame. My opponent said no thanks. Bishop to e3, defending my pawn. Bishop to e4, I have to be a little careful. There's a lot of pressure on this knight on f3, and so I went on the offensive. Of course, if black tries to take me, they will get checkmated here on h7, so that's not an option. They played bishop g6, keeping the bishop defending the checkmate. Rook to d1, sacrificing my pawn on a2 because I wanted to invade on the 7th rank. Now my rook is very powerful. I'm starting to think about maybe attacking the king, and also look at all these pawns, which I can probably start capturing. My opponent played rook to d8, and that's exactly what I did. Took a pawn. Knight to e5. Now, the interesting thing about this move is earlier in the game, I was thinking about playing bishop d4 and going after an attack here, but I couldn't do it because there's 2 pieces controlling that square. As soon as the knight moves, now I'm thinking, okay, maybe I can play bishop d4 because my queen defends, the rook is the only piece there, and then I get my bishop on this really nice diagonal. So I played it, but then my opponent played queen to c4, and I said, uh-oh, wait a second, I've put myself into a pin, I'm being attacked. What do? Pause and try to find the best move for white. This is the first brilliant move in the game and really sets the game down this wild course of events. The best move, and I did see it eventually after some thought, rook takes g7. What's going on here is that not only am I pinned, but my queen is also lined up on black's queen. So by sacrificing my rook, if the black king were to take me, they would allow this beautiful tactic where I take with check, I get rid of the knight, which was defending the queen, and after black gets away from the check, guess what? The queen is now free. So that was a beautiful little tactic. They cannot take my rook. However, what happens if they just take my bishop? Now, I did notice that I was going to be able to take here, and if they take me, I have checkmate. But the question is, what if they take me? I take, but then they don't recapture. And this is exactly what happened in the game. They just played king to g8. Now, don't get me wrong. My position looks very good, but it's complicated. And I only have 48 seconds on the clock. And black has a lot of pieces in the center here, controlling a lot of different squares. They've got the queen supporting, the knight supporting, the bishop is helping. And it looks like the king might be able to run away if I go for this check. But that's the only thing that I can really do to keep the attack going. So I go for the check. I go for another check, and I grab the rook. Still, very good position for me, but now I'm down to 25 seconds. And sometimes in these situations, if you can't see a checkmate, you will literally just run out of time. And that is what I was worried about was going to happen here. He goes here, I check, I capture the knight, he takes my rook, and I'm thinking to myself, queen, queen, rook, rook, knight, I'm just equal. I mean, I have a few extra pawns, but 19 seconds is not enough time. And I know you're probably wondering, Nelson, I thought you said this pawn was going to be the hero. We'll get there. Trust me. It's going to be worth it. Just hang in there. So what did I do? I went with a check. And honestly, guys, at this moment with 16 seconds on the clock, I started to think to myself, I probably should just take the perpetual check here if my opponent gives it to me. If he goes back and forth, I mean, I just didn't see a checkmate. I didn't see what I was going to do. These pieces are obviously well defended. Yeah, maybe I can trade, but I'm probably not going to win that endgame with 16 seconds. And so I was ready to take a draw at this point. My opponent, probably thinking the same thing, like, no, I'm going to win on time, plays king d7. I go queen f5. It's a fork, but it's not really a good fork because bishop e6 just defends everything. I'm like, I'm running out of time here. I've got 13 seconds. I don't see a checkmate, so I went for the trade. And I traded all the pieces. Now I'm really kind of panicking in my mind because I'm like, 12 seconds. I don't have a lot of time to think about this. I got to just make some moves, but all I have are these pawns. Well, what do you do when you have passed pawns? You guys know what the saying is, right? Passed pawns must be pushed. Passed pawns must be pushed. Okay, f4. Push the one with the rook behind it, right? That's the best approach. g4. What else am I going to do? I got 11 seconds on the clock. I got to move. h4. Okay. Check. And I noticed something really interesting here. Even though he can blockade me, I have the g-pawn ready to support it, and then this guy is supported by the rook. Okay. g5 check. All right, I like that. Let's keep going. I mean, we've got 3 pawns. The rook is still over here. He comes back, check again, and it's the same idea. If he goes here, guess what? I got g6 ready to go. That's what happened. Here we go. And again, it's defended by the rook. I'm like, okay. Problem is I have 10 seconds, and it's about to get a little bit tricky, right? He goes here. I move my king because I'm worried about the rook coming over, and I want to try to get up the board. Now, yes, I'm giving up this pawn, but I was basically saying, look, I'm just going to try to get here, put all my eggs in this basket, and hope it's good enough. And I have to. I have 8 seconds. I don't have time to calculate and think and plan. I just have to move. I just have to move. He goes over. I come up. He takes my pawn. I go up. I'm trying to keep the rook away from my pawns. This is it. I've got to make this work with 7 seconds on the clock. He grabs a pawn. These pawns, they're here, but they're kind of not close enough. It's a question of, can I make something happen here or not? What do you guys play in this position? You had a chance to look at that. The move that I played was rook to d1, and I'm basically saying, look, my pawns are controlling all of these squares. I'm going to try to come down and just do a back rank checkmate. It's that simple, right? My opponent stops me. Okay, great. What do we do now? Well, bring the king. Because again, I'm trying to come in with the king. Maybe then I can push my pawn. He pushes. I go down on the 7th rank. I've got 3.9 seconds, guys. That's not a lot of time. I check. He goes here. I've got 3.2 seconds. I'm thinking for a split second. I bring my king in. I'm hoping for a back rank checkmate if the rook moves. I'm hoping to use my pawn to checkmate the king. But I've got 1.2 seconds on the clock, and I don't know what my opponent is going to play. Because if I pre-move this and they move their rook here, that's an illegal move. I might flag. With only 1.2 seconds, I might not be able to get my move in if that happens. And with the split second on the clock, I realized something incredible. If you would like to pause, what do you think I played in this position? Well, the move that I played, and keep in mind, it's not my turn. Okay, it's not my turn, but I wanted to pre-move it to make sure that I had enough time. The move that I pre-moved was rook to d8, not knowing what my opponent was going to do. Why? Because if they push a pawn, it's still a valid move. If they bring the rook back here, it's checkmate. If they try to pin me, it's checkmate. The problem is you're saying, Nelson, you're giving up your rook for free, but you know what? It doesn't matter. Because if they take my rook, the pawn, remember, the F pawn is going to be the hero and deliver one of the most beautiful checkmates that you will ever see. That's what I did. I pre-moved rook d8. My opponent played rook f8. There we go. It's a brilliant move because it's stopping him from sacrificing here. That's what black wanted to do. Just sack the rook. I was going to flag, lose on time before I could checkmate, and they were going to win. But no, it stops that. The only thing black can do is either to let me take it, let me checkmate here, take me. It doesn't matter. They played b4, but it doesn't matter because I pre-moved checkmate. Notice I still have 1 second on the clock. So I only took 0.2 seconds to pre-move the rook d8 and the f7 with an absolutely insane checkmate. I personally think it might have been a little cooler to see it this way, but either way, one of my greatest games of all time because of how it ended with these pawns, the pre-move with 1 second on the clock. I hope you guys can appreciate just how rare of a moment this is. Like, have you ever seen a game end like this? The kings are just like this with 2 pawns there, and there's just this random rook. I mean, amazing stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please let me know in the comments what you thought about this game. Have you ever done anything like this? I'd love to hear about it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this made you smile, and I'll see you next time. Stay sharp, play smart, and take care.